thing, and I think everybody listening or watching this show knows this doesn't help either. Bo Nix is getting better. He outplayed Mahomes this weekend. He's getting better fast. Jaden Daniels.
I wanted to just isolate that soundbite because I need to know this. I'm talking directly to Denver Broncos fans. I've talked about this. I made multiple videos immediately on Sunday and then on Monday about Bo Nix outplaying the Patrick Mahomes. Now, one game head-to-head, I've been screaming that head-to-heads don't matter one-on-one. You can't just be like, that's proof that you're the better quarterback, whatever. But here's the thing. A lot of Mahomes fans use this as a reference to say why Mahomes is better than, say, like a Lamar, Josh, whatever. Because it's like, look at the head-to-head. Look how they play against each other. Nick Wright does that all the time. Always loves to compare these head-to-head matchups. Who plays better, this, that, and the third. And I just want to know how rookie quarterback Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos, who going into this season, not anyone gave them a chance to even remotely make the playoffs. Their over-under for winning games was just nothing, abysmal. They were getting like, what, 7.5 points or whatever it was, 6, 7.5, whatever the final spread ended up being by game time. And now you have Bo Nix outplaying Patrick Mahomes. Looking more comfortable, looking more mobile, looking bigger, stronger. And before Mahomes fans freak out, I'm not saying that Bo Nix is better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that Bo Nix is going to have a better career than Patrick Mahomes could ever dream of. But the fact that we see with our eyes, anyone who's not an ultra-biased Kansas City Chiefs or Mahomes fan can see with their eyes, okay, that Bo Nix was the best quarterback on Sunday. I'm not talking about for the season. I'm not talking about for their careers. But on Sunday, Bo Nix was the best quarterback. That's undeniable. But I'm asking Denver Broncos fans, why do you think that was not even remotely discussed? Do you think it's because they still lost the game? Do you think it was because of the field goal, whatever it may be? Why was there no discussion about Bo Nix? Why did we enter on Monday and virtually nobody talked about the Denver Broncos? Nobody. Why was this no story? Why was the story all about the field goal block, which I understand, that's a big story. Totally understand. And the Chiefs undefeated. And then it was all about the Bears. All about Caleb Williams failing. Those were the two biggest stories. The Chicago Bears failing and Caleb Williams failing, and the Kansas City Chiefs with the blocked field goal. Why was there no conversation about, look at this rookie quarterback outplaying Patrick Mahomes? Significantly, I may add. Significantly. Against the top defense in the NFL. And I'm sorry, complaining about weapons, let's not pretend that the Denver Broncos are just stacked here with endless weapons. They don't have the weapons of the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles here, okay? I'm not saying that the Broncos have nobody, but like let's put this in perspective. They've been exceeding expectations. Bo Nix has been exceeding expectations. Quite frankly, the only people that have really been pro Bo Nix in any of the media has been Colin and myself on YouTube. I don't consider myself part of the media. Maybe one day, but I don't consider myself part of the media. And now you have a game, the biggest game of this guy's career. And it's like barely talked about. How is that not a major storyline? It can't just be because of wins and losses. It just can't be. It just can't be reduced where if the field goal kicker makes the field goal, then everybody talks about Bo Nix. And if the field goal kicker misses the field goal or gets it blocked, then nobody talks about Bo Nix. Like, that's how fragile we are about these types of discussions. That Colin Cowherd, and this is not a knock on Colin, but he just has to casually say this, in a Caleb Williams Chicago Bears clip that Bo Nix outdueled Patrick Mahomes, outplayed him. Like it can't even get its own story. And again, this is not to try to instigate like a tinfoil hat theory and any of that type of stuff. But it's just like I want to know, especially why Denver Broncos fans think about it, why they think this is all unfolding the way it is. We always knew, and this is what I said about Jaden Daniels as well, that there was, since Caleb was the #1 overall pick, because he had all of that momentum, and because it is the Chicago Bears who have a massive market, they were actually the first fan base, I think the first, I'd have to think about it a little bit longer, where I started when I was making videos, and I'd already been making videos for like months and months and months, but I made like a Caleb Williams video about the Chicago Bears, and I saw like a big spike in numbers, and I was like, whoa, this is interesting. And to be fair, this was at a time when like a lot of my videos started to get more of a bump. But I also saw a huge bump with Denver Broncos videos as well, quite frankly. When I started talking about Bo Nix, people were also like kind of through the roof as well. So it's just like I'm just curious. Like I understand technically Chicago has a larger media presence and fan base and whatnot. I get that, and that's why you're seeing all these favorable takes. But how can we not pivot? Is it still more important to talk about Caleb Williams' failures and his lack of success rather than talk about the quarterback who is outplaying Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL? Like, how is that not a story? Doing it on the road against the back-to-back Super Bowl champions? It's more important to talk about Caleb Williams failing against the New England Patriots, who have been awful for years. Like, how does this make sense? It doesn't make. We talked more about Caleb Williams beating the Jacksonville Jaguars, losing to the Patriots, playing awful versus the Titans. It just doesn't. It doesn't actually really make a whole lot of sense to me. And I think it's frustrating. That's why I really wanted to, and I know it was just like a 3-second little soundbite of Colin saying Bo Nix outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And I just for the life of me, man, I struggle to understand why we can't actually have that conversation out loud. Why it can't be a legitimate segment for any of the shows. For any of the shows. Again, this is not anything to do with Colin. I'm just saying, like, in any of the shows. I didn't hear, like, anyone say this on Get Up, First Take, NFL Live, First Things First, The Hurt, like, any of these shows. It just did not exist. I'm really the only one, which is a bizarre thing for me to be able to say. Because who the heck am I, man? I'm just a random dude. And I'm the one that's like trying to like facilitate this conversation. I mean, it's crazy. After that post game, everybody was they were all about it, all about Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh my God, this is amazing. And I said, that's not the conversation to be had right now. The conversation is Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. And then I was expecting maybe some of that carry on Monday, and nope. Every single thing was just about the Kansas City Chiefs. And Mahomes and Andy and Spags, and there was like nothing about the Denver Broncos. Nothing. Just go to YouTube and search Denver Broncos. And you're not really finding like any legit national media. Of course, you're going to have the local stuff. But you can't find it. In fact, maybe I come up on there, which will be pretty funny. But it's just wild to me. Because I'm watching this clip and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk about Caleb and this, that. And then he says that, hey, by the way, Bo Nix outplayed Patrick Mahomes on the road at Arrowhead, back-to-back defending champs. That's not huge news. Everybody wanted to talk about how Bo Nix was not that good of a quarterback. Everybody wanted to rip Sean Payton for saying, hey, for the stories that came out that saying he feels this way about Bo Nix that he felt about Patrick Mahomes during the draft. Everybody ripped him. Everyone ripped him when it came out that said, listen, if they had the #1 overall pick, they were still going to pick Bo Nix over Caleb Williams. Everybody ripped him. Everybody became body language experts when they drafted Bo Nix. That doesn't look like the guy who's that excited to have Bo Nix. And now when we see it in practice, we see it head to head against none other than the Patrick Mahomes, and he succeeds with flying colors. Do you hear that? It's the sound of nothing. Crazy. Crazy to me, man. Crazy. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear your guys on this one. What do you guys all think about this? What do you think about the lack of attention on Bo Nix, the Denver Broncos, just that game in general, in terms of at least from like the Denver Broncos perspective? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.